弟们四处的寻找 Krishna， 他们问了每一个人，然后看到了 Vishnu 之后向他顶拜，并且问他：你有没有看到 Krishna？
So it's deity of Lord Vishnu and Alanath. This is actually Krishna, but he's appearing as Lord Vishnu.
主 Vishnu 的这个形象 Alalanath， 他本来是 Krishna， 但是他显现为 Vishnu 的样子。
And the ordinary devotees, they think he's Vishnu. But when the very great devotees come, they know that this is actually Krishna taking the form of Vishnu.
奉献者们都会认为这是 Vishnu 的形象，但是当伟大的奉献者们到来的时候，他们就会知道这个实际上是 Krishna， 他装扮成了 Vishnu 的样子。
Just like when the gopis saw Lord Narayan, they offered their obeisances and they thought he was Lord Vishnu, and they asked him, where is Lord Krishna? But when Srimati Radharani came, then Lord Krishna could not restrain himself, and he had to again assume his two-armed form.
就像那些 gopi 们，他们看到主 Narayana 的形象，他们顶拜，然后问他：请问你有没有看到 Krishna 在哪里？但是当 Srimati Radharani 到来的时候 ，Krishna 没有办法再控制自己，所以他必须要再度的展示出他的两臂的形体。
So Lord Chaitanya, he is in the mood of Srimati Radharani, and he came there to Alanath, and when he came there to Alanath, he could see that this is actually Lord Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would feel great ecstasy there.
主 Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 就怀着 Radharani 的心态来到了 Alalanath。当他看到 Alalanath 这个神像的时候呢，他能够感受到这就是主 Krishna， 所以在那里他感觉非常的狂喜。
And you can see on the floor there in the temple of Alanath, you can see the floor where the stone had melted by the contact with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
而且你们可以看到，在那个地方的地板上，由于主 Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 的触碰，地板上都会留有他的躯体的痕迹。
So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was exhibiting, he had pure love, he was exhibiting the highest love for Krishna. And in that mood of ecstatic love, he could see that this is actually Krishna.
因为主 Chaitanya 处在对 Krishna 的最高的爱的狂喜之中，所以在那种爱的情感之中，他能够感受到这就是 Krishna。
In the same way, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to see Lord Jagannath in the temple at Jagannath Puri, he would simply see Lord Krishna playing the flute. He would not see Lord Jagannath, he would see Lord Krishna.
同样道理，当主 Chaitanya 去加格纳普瑞去见主加格纳特的时候，他没有看到加格纳特，他看到的是 Krishna 在吹笛子，他看到的是 Krishna。
Of course, the form of Jagannath and Baladev and Subhadra, these are very special forms of the Lord, which show his love for his devotees.
当然，主加格纳、Baladev 还有 Subhadra， 这都是主的非常特殊的形象。这些形象表达了他对自己的奉献者们的爱。
When Lord Krishna was residing at Dwarka, in his dreams, sometimes he would be uttering the names of different people who were very dear to him in his pastimes in Vrindavan.
当主 Krishna 住在多尔卡的时候，有时候在梦中，他甚至会呼唤那些在文达文的逍遥时光之中跟他关系非常亲近的奉献者的名字。
So, Lord Krishna's wives, remember he has 16,108 wives, and all the family members, they were very puzzled because they didn't know these people in Vrindavan.
主 Krishna 的妻子们，你们要知道，主 Krishna 有16108位妻子，他还有其他的家庭成员，他们都变得非常的迷惑，因为他们不了解这些文达文的人。
The only person who knew about Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan was the mother of Balaram, Rohini, because when Vasudeva and Devaki were in the prison house of Kamsa, at that time Rohini had been sent to Kamsa, had been sent to Nanda Maharaj's home for her safety.
在所有人之中，唯一能够知道 Krishna 在文达文逍遥时光的人，便是主 Balaram 的母亲 Rohini。因为当时，当 Devaki 还有 Vasudeva 他们在康萨的监狱里的时候， 他们把 Rohini 送到了 Vrindavan，在 Nanda Maharaj 的保护之下。
So Mother Rohini was requested that you please tell us, we want to hear about all these people who have these wonderful pastimes with Lord Krishna in Vrindavan.
因此，大家就请求 Rohini 母亲给他们就是大家讲一讲关于 Vrindavan 的这些逍遥时光。
So Mother Rohini agreed, but she said we will have to do it very carefully, because if Lord Krishna will hear these pastimes, it will be very painful for him. It will awaken his memories of Vrindavan, and we don't know what will happen.
有黑尼妈妈说，我们可以这么做，但是应该非常的小心，因为如果 Krishna 一旦听到这些逍遥时光的话，因为这些都是 Vrindavan 他非常珍爱的人，我们不知道他会发生什么样的情况。
So they said, all the devotees, they said, no problem, we'll be very careful, we'll keep the doors closed. But anyway, Mother Rohini began to speak, and she had a big assembly, all the wives and all the relatives of Lord Krishna. They were all eager to hear about Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan.
大家说好，那我们就非常小心的这么做。然后 Rohini 妈妈呢，她开始讲，她有一大堆的人听她，有所有的 Krishna 这些王后，还有很多的其他的这些人。然后 Rohini 妈妈开始讲述 Krishna 在 Vrindavan 的逍遥时光。
And they were all hearing very, very carefully. And they were hearing so carefully that nobody noticed how Lord Balaram and Subhadra and Lord Krishna all came in, and they were standing at the back.
大家听得非常的认真，因为太认真了，所以都没有注意到什么时候主 Balaram、Subhadra 还有 Krishna 也来了，在后面也在听。
And Mother Rohini was speaking, and as she spoke, then Krishna and Balaram and Subhadra, their eyes became bigger and bigger, and their arms and their legs shrunk into their bodies.
Rohini 妈妈就在讲，她讲啊讲啊，这个时候有 Krishna 还有 Balaram 还有 Subhadra， 他们的眼睛睁得越来越大，并且他们的四肢开始缩回到他们的身体里。
So this is a special form of the Lord in ecstasy, hearing about the glories of his own self and his devotees in Vrindavan.
这便是主的一个特殊的形象，这个形象就是主在聆听关于他自己还有他的奉献者们在Vrindavan的逍遥时光的时候的一个特殊形象。
And in the same way, when Maharaja Indrajumna broke into the room and to see what was going on, he thought Vishwakarma had completed the sculpture of the form of the Lord, and he was shocked when he saw the Lord had no arms and no legs.
当就是Indradyumna Maharaj 他打开这个门，然后看神像有没有做好的时候，他以为 Vishwakarma 已经把神像全都雕刻完了，但他非常惊讶的发现这个神像呢没有手臂，然后也没有腿。
But then a voice from the sky told Maharaj Indrajumna that no, this is a very special form of the Lord, and he desires to be worshipped in this form, and this is the form of the Lord where he's hearing the glories of Vrindavan.
这时候天空中传来一个声音，告诉Maharaja Indradyumna说，这个形象呢是主非常特殊的一个形象，主自己也想以这个形象接受大家的崇拜。这就是当主本人在聆听他和他的奉献者在Vrindavan的逍遥时光的时候所展示出来的形象。
So the Ratha Yatra festival is the festival of bringing Krishna to Vrindavan.
Ratha Yatra 弹车节是一个把 Krishna 带回Vrindavan的节日。
We know Lord Krishna left Vrindavan. He went first to Mathura, and then he moved everyone to Dwarka, and he was living in Dwarka with all of his queens.
我们知道 Krishna 他离开了Vrindavan， 他到了 Mathura， 然后从 Mathura 呢，他来到了 Dwarka。
Yeah, finished. So Lord Krishna was living in Dwarka, but there was a solar eclipse.
当主 Krishna 住在多尔卡的时候，发生了日食。
So Lord Krishna sent a message to Vrindavan, and he told all the gopis that I'm going to go to Kurukshetra to observe the solar eclipse. And I want you also to come and meet me because I haven't seen you for a long time.
主 Krishna 派信使送信到文达文，他说：“我已经很长时间没有见到你们了，所以呢，我现在要去 Kurukshetra 去做这个日食，去看这个日食，然后请你们所有的人到那个地方去见我。”
Just like when you go back to China, your family will be so anxious to see you. They haven't seen you for a long time.
就像如果你们现在回中国的话，你们的亲戚们会非常迫切的想去见你们，因为他们已经很久没有见到你们了。
So all the gopis, they were eager to go to Kurukshetra and meet Lord Krishna.
所有的 gopi 们非常迫切的想去 Kurukshetra 去见 Krishna。
The cowherd boys, they had gone to Mathura. When Krishna went to Mathura, there was the wrestling match. At that time, the cowherd boys went, the gopis stayed back. So when Krishna came to Mathura, it was the gopis' turn, and the cowherd boys had to stay back.
当就是那些牧牛童们，他们曾经去过马图拉，因为当 Krishna 去马图拉的时候，牧牛童们跟他一起去，所以现在到了该去 Kurukshetra 的时候，这些牧牛童留下来，然后这次该轮到那些牧牛姑娘们去了。
Just like when you go back to China, your family will say, "You've had your turn. Next time it's my turn to go."
就像如果你回到中国去，你的家里人就会跟你说，你已经轮过一回了，下次该轮到我了。
So Lord Krishna came to Kurukshetra and he met with all the gopis. Lord Krishna came with all of his queens, all of his wives. They all came, and the Pandavas came with Draupadi and Subhadra, and everybody was there. It was a big gathering.
所以主 Krishna 终于去了 Kurukshetra， 他带着他的妻子，带着自己的家里人，然后还有那些 Pandava 们也去了，Draupadi 也去了，大家都去了，有很多很多的人聚集在一起。
But the gopis, when they met Krishna there in Vrindavan, they were not so, when they met Krishna in Kurukshetra, they were not so satisfied. They thought, this is not like in Vrindavan.
但是当 Gopi 们在 Kurukshetra 见到 Krishna 的时候，他们并不感觉到非常的满意，他们觉得这个地方不像文达文。
Kurukshetra, 5,000 years ago, was a military fort, and there were many soldiers and chariots and elephants and horses and everything running, going back and forth. So it was very noisy.
Kurukshetra 在5000年之前，相当是一个，就说有很多的士兵，有很多的马匹，有很多的人在跑来跑去的地方，那个地方非常的嘈杂。
Just like if you go to Calcutta, so much traffic, so noisy, so much big trucks everywhere and main roads and a lot of traffic and noise and pollution and congestion.
就像在加尔各答，如果你去那儿的话，会发现有很多的车，交通经常的堵塞，然后空气也被污染了，有很多的噪音。
And you go to Calcutta and you think, I just want to get back to Mayapur.
你去了加尔各答，你就觉得我就想回玛雅普。
Right, but the gopis, they were at Kurukshetra with Krishna, and they thought, this Kurukshetra, it's not got the mood of Vrindavan, because in Vrindavan, there's the Yamuna River, there's the Govardhan Hill, there is the cows and the peacocks. None of these things are there in Kurukshetra.
那些牧牛姑娘们，她们到了 Kurukshetra 之后，非常。他的穿着打扮就像是一个牧牛童一样。
But in Kurukshetra, he's the prince, and he's come with his royal robes and his silks and crown, It's not like Vrindavan.
可是他在 Kurukshetra 是一个王子，穿着皇室的袍子，然后还有很多其他的这些用品，他根本就不像在文达文一样。
So the gopis, they thought we're going to take Krishna back to Vrindavan.
这些 Gopi 们就想，我们要带 Krishna 回文达文。
We don't want this Kurukshetra Krishna. We want Vrindavan Krishna.
我们想要，我们不想要这个 Kurukshetra 的 Krishna，我们想要的是文达文的 Krishna。
So Srila Prabhupada at one point in 1970s, somebody was supposed to give some land in Kurukshetra, and Prabhupada was very eager to get the land, and he said that Kurukshetra is a very important holy place. He said it's important for two reasons.
1970几年的时候，有人想在 Kurukshetra 买一片土地，然后帕非常的支持。他说 Kurukshetra 出于2个原因是非常重要的。
He said one reason Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita there, and the other reason is Ratha Yatra. The first Ratha Yatra was there.
原因之一是因为 Krishna 在那儿讲解了《博伽梵歌》，原因之二是在那个地方举行了首届的 Ratha Yatra 弹车节。
Right? The gopis, they brought Krishna from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. That was the Ratha Yatra, the first Ratha Yatra.
Gopi 们他们想把 Krishna 从 Kurukshetra 带回文达文，那就是弹车节，就是 Ratha Yatra。
So the Ratha Yatra festival is a very special display of the loving exchange between Lord Krishna and his devotees.
因此，弹车节是主 Krishna 还有他的亲爱的奉献者们之间的一种爱的特殊的表达。
And this was seen during the manifest presence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
在 Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 的显现的逍遥时光之中，这一点也得到了清晰的展示。
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remembers he's in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So when he was dancing in front of the chariot, then Lord Jagannath's very happy because he sees his pleasure potency, Srimati Radharani there, so the chariot will move forward.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 他处在 Srimati Radharani 的情感之中，所以当他在弹车前跳舞的时候，非常的取悦主 Jagannath， 因为主会认为这是他的喜乐的能量在他的面前。当他跳舞的时候，这个弹车就会很顺利的一路前行。
But sometimes Lord Chaitanya he'll test Lord Jagannath, and he will go behind, he will go to the back of the chariot. And so when Lord Chaitanya would go to the back, then Lord Jagannath wouldn't want to go forward and the chariot would stop.
但主 Chaitanya 有的时候想去考验一下主 Jagannath， 所以他就会到弹车的后面去。当他去弹车后面的时候呢，主 Jagannath 就会让这个弹车停下来，不往前走了。
Now that chariot is 45 feet tall. It's really tall and it's really wide as well. And there are no brakes on it.
这个弹车呢是很大很高的，有45英尺高，而且非常的宽，也没有这个闸去刹的这个闸。
Every year they build new chariots.
每一年大家都会建新的弹车。
It takes a lot of wood and it's very special, very hard, strong wood.
需要很多的木材，是需要非常特殊的、非常坚硬的木材。
And they build the chariot without any nails. They don't put one nail in the chariot.
而且他们建弹车的时候不会用一根钉子，弹车上一根钉子都没有。
You know, when we build chariots, we have so many nails. We put a lot of nails in the thing to hold it together.
当我们在建弹车的时候，我们会打很多的钉子。因为我们会把很多的钉子都弄在一起，才能把这个木头接在一起。
But these people in Jagannath Puri, they're so expert that they build these huge chariots with no brakes. And so massive. That's why the word Jagannath comes from, or the word Juggernaut. Juggernaut means something really huge, gigantic. It comes from the word Jagannath.
而在加格纳普里的这些人，他们非常的专业，他们可以不用一根钉子便建造这种非常的庞大的弹车， 而且没有任何的闸的这个系统。所以在英文之中有一个词叫做 juggernaut， 这个 juggernaut 的意思指的是非常庞大的一个东西，就来自于 juggernaut 这个词。
So Lord Chaitanya would be he'd be testing Jagannath. He'd go to the back, he'd wait at the back and he'd see what Jagannath's going to do. And the chariot would stop. And the people, they're trying to push. You know, they pull the chariot. They have big ropes and thousands of people all pulling. And they couldn't move the chariot. It wouldn't move.
主柴滩呢，有时候就这样考验加格纳特，他到了弹车的后面去看看加格纳特会怎么样。然后就会有很多的人，成千上万的人在后面推，然后有绳子，所以大家在前面拉，有成千上万的人，但是这个弹车就是一动不动。
And then they got the royal elephants to come, big royal elephants with the big tusks, you know, really big ones. And they were pulling and they were beating the elephants. And the elephants were trying to pull the chariot. And they were crying, the elephants were sweating and pulling, they couldn't move the chariot.
大家请来了皇家的这些大象，然后非常强壮的大象，有很长很长的牙齿，他们拼命的拉这个弹车，还有专门的赶象的人在打这些大象，大象们在哭，而且呢出很多的汗。可是尽管他们这么拼命，这个弹车还是一动不动。
Then Lord Chaitanya would come and say, all right, all of you stand back. And Lord Chaitanya himself would go to the back of the chariot and he'd put his head against the chariot and he'd push the chariot and the chariot would roll so freely.
然后主柴滩就来了，他就告诉所有的人说：“你们全都后退。”他一个人到弹车的后面，用他的头去顶这个弹车，然后这个弹车就开始非常顺利的又开始往前进了。
So this is the loving exchange between Srimati Radharani and Lord Krishna.
这便是在 Srimati Radharani 和主 Krishna 之间的爱的交流。
And it was portrayed in the dealings between Lord Jagannath, who is none different from Lord Krishna, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was in the mood of Srimati Radharani.
这种爱的交流就被描绘在主 Jagannath， 他跟主 Krishna 没有任何的区别，还有他跟主 Sri Krishna Chaitanya。后者呢，他跟 Srimati Radharani 没有任何的区别，就在他们两者之间的这种交流之中，这种爱的交流得到了描绘。
So Srila Prabhupada, from his very childhood, he had a deep attraction to Lord Jagannath and to the Ratha Yatra festival.
施了帕帕从他的孩提时代起，就非常的受到了主加格纳特还有弹车节的吸引。
And when he went to the West, when he got the opportunity to put some deities, they decided to put Jagannath there.
当他去西方，然后想设立神像的时候呢，他们就想，设立加格纳特吧。
Because Lord Jagannath had appeared. He'd appeared to himself. Somehow, one of the Malati Maharaji, one of the devotees, had gone shopping in an Indian store. And she found a little doll of Lord Jagannath, and she didn't know who it was. And she brought it back and showed it to Prabhupada.
因为加格纳特自己显现了，有一个门徒是马拉提马特吉，他去一个进口商店，在那里找到了一些小的玩偶，他把这个带回去，然后发现呢，实际上这个就是主加格纳特。
And then Prabhupada said, "This is very auspicious. Lord Jagannath has appeared to us." So then Prabhupada found out one of the devotees knew how to do wood carving, so he had him carve deities of Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra.
帕帕说这个非常的吉祥，因为主加格纳特自己就显现了，然后他们找了一个会雕刻的奉献者，让这个奉献者雕刻大的加格纳 Baladev Subhadra 的神像。
So the first Ratha Yatra in the Western world took place in San Francisco.
在西方世界举行的首次的弹车节就在旧金山。
So that temple is called New Jagannath Puri.
因此这个庙被称为是新加格纳特 Puri。
So Prabhupada encouraged devotees all over the world. They could celebrate this Ratha Yatra festival.
帕帕鼓励所有的全世界的奉献者们，大家都可以庆祝 Ratha Yatra 弹车节。
And Prabhupada himself, of course, we would like to invite Prabhupada to come for the Ratha Yatra. It was very nice. He would often like to come.
当然，我们也会邀请施罗帕帕来参加弹车节，他非常的喜欢参加弹车节，他就会来。
Because even as a young child, he'd been doing Ratha Yatra.
因为自从他的孩提时代起呢，他就在组织弹车节。
After he finished his college studies, after the exams from the college, he wanted to go for a break, so he chose to go to Jagannath Puri.
当他大学毕业之后，也就是大学的考试之后，他要休息一下，他就选择去加格纳特 Puri。
He was always checking the timetable of the trains, and he would check if he had enough money to go to Jagannath Puri.
他总是在查火车时刻表，还有呢，他是不是有足够的钱可以去加格纳特 Puri。
In those days, the fare was about 3 rupees.
在那个时候，大概其车费是3卢比。
Anyway, after his college exams, Prabhupada went there on his own, and he saw the temple, he saw the deities and everything.
无论如何，大学毕业之后，施罗帕帕就去了那里，他看了庙，他看了神像，看了所有的一切。
And he took the prasadam of the deities every day.
而且他每天都会荣耀神像的 prasadam。
So he was happy to see our worship of Lord Jagannath. He saw the devotees, how they were worshiping, making nice dresses and putting beautiful jewelry and beautiful crowns for Lord Jagannath.
他非常高兴看到我们在崇拜加格纳特，他会看我们给加格纳特穿非常漂亮的衣服，戴很好看的珠宝，然后有很多的装饰品，把主加格纳打扮得非常的美丽。
He liked to see us put on a nice festival for Lord Jagannath
而
every
且
year.
他也很喜欢我们为主加格纳特举行非常好的节日。
Even if we had no money, if whatever money we had, we spent it for Ratha Yatra, he said, very good.
甚至当时我们没有钱，无论我们有多少钱，把它全花在弹车节上了，然后他还说非常好。
Yeah, when Prabhupada came to London one year, we had a big festival, and Prabhupada was surprised. He said, where did you get the money?
帕到了有一年到了伦敦，然后我们举行一个盛大的节日，帕非常的惊讶，他说：“你们从哪儿得到的钱呢？”
And then they said, oh, this one devotee, he's in charge of the Ratha Yatra, and Krishna arranged that he got an inheritance. One of his family members died and left him a lot of money, and he spent it all on Ratha Yatra.
然后大家就告诉说帕说，主管举办弹车节的这个奉献者，他刚刚继承了一大笔遗产，他家里有一个人就是一个亲戚刚刚死去，留下了很多的遗产，他把所有的他这一份的遗产全都花在了弹车节上。
So Prabhupada said, money well spent.
然后帕说这个钱花得好。
That was, if you get some money, use it for the service of Krishna. Make a nice temple or put on a big festival for all the devotees.
如果要是你有钱的话，就应该为 Krishna 而服务。你可以建特别宏伟的庙宇，或者是说你为奉献者们举行盛大的节日。
So here in Mayapur at this time, there's not much happening because of the COVID, because of the lockdown, not many people coming or anything, but still we're trying to celebrate this Ratha Yatra festival some way or other.
现在在马雅普，我们没有去安排太多的活动，因为这个新冠病毒的关系，整个的国家还在封锁之中。但是无论如何，我们想尽办法，还是要庆祝一下这个弹车节。
So the Ratha Yatra for these deities was observed on the roof of Jayapataka Swami. And then after the Ratha Yatra, Jayapataka Swami had the inspiration that the different devotees from different parts could all cook for the deities.
我们可以看到神坛上有一个小的弹车，这个弹车就是Jayapataka Swami在他的屋顶去举行弹车节的这个弹车。然后在这个弹车节之后，Jayapataka Swami他有一个灵感，就想着来自全世界各地的奉献者们呢，可以轮流的为主加格纳他做饭。
In Jagannath Puri, every day, Lord Jagannath has what is called Chapan Bhog. Chapan Bhog means 56 different preparations.
在加格纳 Puri 主加格纳每天都会得到 Chapan Bhog。Chapan Bhog 的意思就是56种制品。
So at least for this 1 week, 8 days actually, before it's 8 days before Lord Jagannath goes back from the Ratha Yatra day until the day goes back will be 8 days. So this is the 3rd day.
那么加起来一共是1周，实际上是8天的时间。因为在主加格纳再回到他自己的地方之前，他在这儿待8天，今天是第3天。
And they're having different devotees. The Bengali devotees cooked, then they're having the South Indian devotees cook, then they'll have the Arisan devotees cook, then the Russian devotees will cook.
所以就安排不同国家的奉献者们给主加格纳的做饭。孟加拉奉献者有1天，然后南印度的奉献者有1天，奥里萨邦的奉献者们有1天，还有俄罗斯的奉献者们也有1天。
And in this way, Lord Jagannath is able to receive service from so many different devotees.
这样主加格纳就可以有机会从这么多不同的奉献者呢接受服务。
This is the pleasure of Lord Jagannath, that he takes pleasure in seeing the devotee. He likes to serve the devotees, and the devotees want to serve Lord Jagannath.
这就是主加格纳他的快乐。主加格纳他想去服务奉献者，而奉献者们也想服务主加格纳。
Lord Jagannath is so merciful. He comes out from the temple and he goes around on his chariot just to see all of us, to give us his darshan.
主加格纳非常的仁慈，他从庙里出来，然后到了外面，他来见我们所有的人，就是为了给我们仁慈，给我们darshan。
So he's giving us a chance to reciprocate by allowing all of us to do some service for him.
这样他就给我们所有的人一个机会，能够让我们可以为他献上一些服务。
So we're very grateful. We hope we can all take full advantage to purify our heart.
我们非常的感激这个机会，我们希望大家能够好好的利用这个机会做服务，来净化我们的内心。
Let Lord Jagannath sit there in our heart.
让主加格纳他坐在我们的内心之中。
Okay, are there any questions?
好，请问大家有什么问题吗？
Prabhu?
Rajendra Prabhu is asking. Shall I?
No need. Yeah, he's asking about Lord Chaitanya is very merciful. He doesn't take offenses. So does Jagannath take offense? Is Jagannath as merciful as Lord Chaitanya?
主加格纳是不是跟主彩坛一样的仁慈？
Of course, Lord Chaitanya is a very, very special form of the Lord.
当然了，主彩坛是主的非常非常特殊的一个形象。
That was declared by Rupa Goswami, that there's nobody more merciful of all the incarnations of Krishna. You are the most merciful.
Rupa Goswami 已经宣布了，说这个主彩坛是最有仁慈的这个形象，在所有的 Krishna 的这些形象之中。
So Lord Jagannath, Prabhupada put Lord Jagannath there in the temple in San Francisco. He could have put Gornitai, but he saw Lord Jagannath appearing to him. So Lord Jagannath was appearing to him. And that way he saw this was an omen that Lord Jagannath wants to be put here in the temple in San Francisco.
当初舍罗帕帕想在庙里，在旧金山的庙里设立神像的时候，他原本可以设立格尔尼泰的神像，但他为什么要设立了加格纳特的神像呢？是因为他看到主加格纳特自己显现了，所以舍罗帕帕接受这个是一种预兆，也就是主加格纳特想要接受大家的服务。
Lord Jagannath reciprocates with the mood of the devotees. So long as the devotees are sincere, then Lord Jagannath will accept their service.
主加格纳特会随着奉献者们的这种情感进行相应的交流和回应。只要奉献者们非常的诚恳，主加格纳特就会接受他们的服务。
But Prabhupada didn't say, no, we have to put Gornitai here. Gornitai are more merciful. He put Lord Jagannath there.
帕并没有说哦不，格尔尼泰更加的仁慈，然后我们应该放格尔尼泰，他反而是放了加格纳特在那里。
And when he was a child, he was worshiping Jagannath. He wasn't worshiping Gornitai.
当他还是个小孩的时候，他崇拜的是主加格纳特，他并没有去崇拜格尔尼泰。
He came more in touch with Lord Chaitanya and Lord Chaitanya's teaching.
的仁慈呢？
Well, we cannot go against Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami has already said Lord Chaitanya is the most merciful, but Lord Jagannath is also very merciful.
那么我们怎么去判断主加甘纳是不是比主Chaitanya更加的仁慈？我们不能够违反 Rupa Goswami 的说法，所以我们可以说主加甘纳主Chaitanya 非常的仁慈，但是主加甘纳也非常的仁慈。
Whatever is the mood of that devotee, Lord Jagannath will reciprocate with that mood.
无论奉献者有什么样的情感，主加甘纳都会按照这种情感进行相应的回应。
You may worship Lord Jagannath in the mood of Vrindavan, and somebody else may worship Lord Jagannath in the mood of Dwarka. Lord Jagannath accepts. He doesn't make any distinction.
一个人可能可以以稳大文的情感去崇拜主加甘纳，而另外的一个人呢，可以以多尔卡的情感去崇拜主加甘纳。但对于主加甘纳来讲呢，没有任何的区别。
There was one man, he was a great devotee of Ganesh. So his friend was a devotee of Lord Jagannath, and his friend was saying that if you worship Lord Jagannath, all the forms of the demigods are there within the form of Lord Jagannath.
有一个人他是Ganesh的奉献者，而他的朋友呢是加甘纳的奉献者，所以他的朋友就告诉他说：“你可以崇拜主加甘纳的形象，主加甘纳包括所有的一切的半神人。”
So the man was surprised. He couldn't believe it. He said, no, you come with me. We'll go to Jagannath Puri. You'll see for yourself. So they came there to Jagannath Puri. And when they came for darshan to see Lord Jagannath appeared in his Ganesh form, just like Ganesh has a trunk and he has the big ears. He has, the form of the elf. Lord Jagannath appeared in this special Ganesh dress.
这个人不相信，他的朋友说：“我们一起去加格纳的普瑞，你自己亲眼看看就知道了。”所以他们到了加格纳的普瑞，看主加格纳。正好那一天呢，主加格纳是以Ganesh的形象显现的，有长长的鼻子，然后还有大大的耳朵。主加格纳那天穿的是特殊的大象装。
So it's not that all the gods are one, but you should understand that they're all coming from the one supreme Lord, who's none different from Lord Jagannath.
不是说所有的神都是一，而是说所有的神呢，其实他们全都来自于至尊者，至尊的那一位，来自于主加格纳。
And that mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also coming from Lord Jagannath.
而主Chaitanya Mahaprabhu的仁慈也来自于主加格纳。
But Lord Jagannath, he makes some distinctions. If somebody is really nasty, really envious and jealous, then he's not allowed in Jagannath Puri. Get out. You can't stay here.
但主加格纳有一些分别心，有一些分辨，就是说，如果一个人太让人恶心、太让人讨厌、太充满嫉妒之心的话，他不允许这样的人进入加格纳Puri，他会让他待在外面。
Lord Chaitanya was very merciful. He accepted Jagai and Madhai. That was by the mercy, of course, that was also by the mercy of Lord Nityananda.
主Chaitanya非常的仁慈，他接受了加盖和麻太，当然这也是因为主尼天南的仁慈的缘故。
So more merciful than Lord Chaitanya is Lord Nityananda.
因此，比主Chaitanya更加仁慈的，那就是主尼天南的。
And Lord Nityananda is no different from Lord Balaram.
而主尼天南的跟主巴拉拉姆没有任何的区别。
So we have Jagannath and Baladeva. Baladeva is the original guru.
我们有加格纳，我们有巴拉德瓦，巴拉德瓦是原本的咕噜。
So more merciful than Jagannath is Lord Baladev.
所以比加格纳更仁慈的是主巴拉德瓦。
Because he's a manifestation of the spiritual teacher.
因为他是灵性老师的一个展示。
So I remember Barijan Prabhu, very senior devotee. He was telling us, he said, if you have any problem, tell it to Lord Balaram, Lord Baladev. He will help us. Any problem, just go to Lord Balaram and talk to him. He'll help us with our problem.
我记得 Barijan Prabhu 他是一个非常资深的奉献者，他曾经告诉我们说，如果你有任何的问题、有麻烦什么的困难，你应该去找巴拉德瓦，就是巴拉拉姆，去跟他谈一谈。所以有问题的话，就可以去找巴拉德瓦。
Okay. So, any other question?
还有其他的问题吗？
I think everybody's waiting for.
你可以直接说。英文
Be attached like the gopis to Lord Jagannath. Attracted. Just like the gopis are attracted to. Can we be attracted to Lord Jagannath just like the gopis are attracted to Lord? How can we be attracted by the form of Lord Jagannath?
我们怎么能够受到主加格纳的形象的吸引？就像是我们受到 Krishna 还有 Rama 的形象的吸引一样呢？
Well, Lord Jagannath is also very beautiful. Don't you think Jagannath is beautiful?
主加格纳非常的美丽，难道你不认为主加格纳的很美丽吗？
He has such a smiling face. He's so, so today is looking so happy.
他有这么灿烂的微笑，我今天看见他，就是说看起来非常的高兴。
And big eyes.
大大的眼睛。
And brightly decorated.
而且呢，装饰的也很漂亮。
You have to develop your love for him. Then you'll be attracted more. The more you serve, the more you develop the attraction of love.
你必须要发展你对他的爱，你越多的去服务他，你才能够越多的受到他的这种爱的吸引。
Just like sometimes a marriage will be arranged, a young woman with a man, and the young woman doesn't know the man, but they'll be married. They didn't know each other, and the woman didn't really like the man very much anyway, but anyway, they got married, and she serves the man. And as she serves the man, she develops more love for the man.
就像一种安排的婚姻一样，这个年轻的女子本来不认识这个男子，但是呢，安排他们两个结婚了。可能这个年轻的女子不太喜欢这个年轻的男子，但因为他们已经结婚了，所以她就开始去服务这名男子。这样逐渐的，随着她的服务，她可以发展出对这名男子的这种爱恋之心。
So you have to serve Lord Jagannath. You want to develop your attraction for him. It comes by service. The more you will serve, the more you will dress him and decorate him and cook for him and sing and dance for him. The more you will develop your love for him.
所以你一定要去服务主加格纳。你想发展，就是想让自己被主加格纳吸引，那你就应该满怀爱心的去服务他。你应该去给他做饭，你应该去给他装饰，你应该去给他跳舞。这样的话，你能发展出你对他的爱。
Also hear about Lord Jagannath, hear his pastimes, and by hearing about his wonderful pastimes, we'll become more and more attracted by him.
而且你还要去聆听，你越是聆听跟他有关的逍遥时光，你就会越会受到他的吸引。
So many great acharyas, they all went to Jagannath. Shankaracharya, he wrote the Jagannath Astikam for us. You know, we sing Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagani Bhava to me. This is Shankaracharya. He wrote this whole wonderful song, Jagannath Astikam.
有伟大的 Acharya 们，他们也为我们写了很多关于主加格纳塔的文献，比如说 Shankara Acharya，他撰写了著名的八赞加格纳 Jagannatha Astakam， 然后其中就提到 Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhava to me， 这就是他给我们写的，让我们去聆听，然后发展对加格纳塔的爱。
And Ramanujacharya, he was also there in Jagannath Puri, and he tried to change the deity worship. Lord Jagannath took him out in the night.
Ramanujacharya 他在加格纳 Puri， 他想改变大家崇拜加格纳塔的方式，结果主加格纳非常的生气，半夜的时候就把他从加格纳 Puri 踢出去了。
So, if you try to change anything, Lord Jagannath will throw you out of Jagannath Puri.
哦，你想改变一些东西，那主加格纳特会让你离开加格纳特 Puri。
And then after Ramanuja, then Lord Chaitanya came there, and Lord Chaitanya stayed there for 18 years.
然后在 Ramanuja 之后，由主 Chaitanya 到主 Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 在加格纳特 Puri 一共逗留了18年。
And all the devotees were coming every year from Bengal. They would all come for the Ratha Yatra.
每一年孟加拉的奉献者们都会从孟加拉到这个加格纳特 Puri 来参加 Ratha Yatra 弹车节。
Because they had so much love for Lord Jagannath.
因为他们有对加格纳特如此多的爱。
Okay, is that the one question? Oh, in serving Lord Jagannath, is there any special things we have to take care?
请问在服务主加格纳特的时候，有什么需要特别注意的吗？
Yes, you have to take care of your cleanliness. You
是
have
的，
to be very clean
你要注意你的清洁，你必须要非常的洁净，
and very punctual.
而且要准时。
Lord Jagannath's a person who likes to eat prasadam in time, on time.
主加格纳特是一个人，他很喜欢按时荣耀菩萨的。
All the brahmacharis over here, I hope they're not getting angry with us.
所有的 brahmachari 们都在那等着，希望他们不会生我们的气。
So you have to take care of Lord Jagannath nicely. Lord Jagannath's a person. You deal with them nicely, respectfully, offer nice food for him, give nice flowers for him, offer nice worship.
你们应该好好的对待主加格纳特，因为他是一个人，你们要好好的给他服务菩萨的，给他供奉鲜花，像一个人那样的去服务他，对待他。
So according to your ability.
按照你的能力。
Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki.
Well, so on behalf of Srila Jayapataka Swami, I would like to thank Maharaj for today's class to remind us the glories of Lord Jagannath, to remind us glories of Jagannath Puri, and such a beautiful instructions. I also want to thank the Chinese devotees today for cooking for Lord Jagannath. Not only all of you, also the devotees online. I know many of you watching online, you also helping today in this beautiful festival.
Hare Krishna。 尊敬的Maharaji Prabhu，他代表圣座加帕塔的 Swami Guru Maharaj， 尤其的感谢圣座 Bhaktivinoda Vinasa Narasimha Maharaj 今天到来，跟我们分享了关于主加格纳特的荣耀，还有关于加格纳特 Puri 的荣耀，所以我要向他致以衷心的感谢。除此之外呢，我还要感谢所有在座的各位奉献者们，你们都为主加格纳特做了很好的供奉，有这么多的菩萨的，而且不仅仅是在这儿的这些中国奉献者们，还有在线的中国奉献者们，我知道你们也为主加格纳做了很多的供奉，所以呢，感谢大家 ，Hare Krishna。
So now so much prasadam is there. So what we're going to do now? We have big problem now. So we need all your help, okay, to eat this Mahaprasadam. Normally 2 o'clock is the Machari Prasada, 2:30 the guests are coming. So we're trying to finish our Prasada before 2:30. No? So thank you very much. And everybody please enjoy Mahaprasadam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna， 但我们现在有一个大问题，我们供奉这么多的 Mahaprasadam， 我们拿它怎么办呢？所以就需要你们帮忙。怎么帮忙呢？就是荣耀加格纳特的 Mahaprasadam。一般来说呢 ，Brahmachari Prasadam 是2点钟开始，然后客人呢是2点半开始，所以我们努力的在2点半之前，我们荣耀完 Mahaprasadam。Haribo。
啊，现在因为时间原因，所以马哈拉已经被仆人带去荣耀帕萨的了。哦，马哈拉已经被他们带去荣耀帕萨了呢，但是马哈拉待会咱马哈拉就会告诉他们，就是大家的在线的这个情况。那个
不用看票儿。
等我等一下。我现在给大家去看一下那个帕萨等的地方，然后我们就结束了哈。